line. Take the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Oh, it's racing.
And good evening, good day, everyone, and welcome back here to PTM Racing TV, where we're live with the East Coast Racing Circuit tonight at one of the most famous and infamous tracks of all NASCAR and Super Late Model Racing and asphalt racing in general, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Hi, everyone. I am Kristen, the Crusader Shriver, and welcome back to the show as always. As we're getting ready and set here for the first race of the night, we are looking at this. We're looking at this oval-shaped configuration, very tight in bankings and turns, multiple angles to run. You'll see drivers normally hit the bottom in the middle a lot, and you'll see that wind definitely play a little bit of a factor as time goes on. More into that here in a little bit, but first, let's get down to business and showcase our starting lineup for tonight's action. On the pole, it's going to be Rick Spencer-Wald out of Canada in the number 31, and it is outside. It's the number 2 of Carter Casey from the Mid-South. Row number 2, it is Brian Doty in the 17 and from the Carolina, and is outside. The other fellow Canadian, Kyle Jackson in the number 6. Row number 3, it's Paul Durkee in the number 5 out of New England, as outside. Brandon Coleman in the 51 out of Carolina. Final starter, Justin Lawson in the 20 out of the Carolinas. We are ready for the action here. We're ready to set the pace, set the tone. The drivers are ready to go. But are you guys ready to go here on the show here tonight? We have got 2 main events lined up for you. And yes, I did not stutter. We have 2 of them. And if you can believe it, this might be the most sane one of them all. I'll talk about more about the other one here in a little bit. But right now we are getting set with the East Coast Racing Circuit. Battles are drawn in. Battles are ready to stir up the pot here. And one driver we're going to have to look a little bit in as time goes on is definitely going to be in the back here. You see Brandon Coleman hasn't had a very good season when his opinion how he's running. And Paul Durkee as well has been kind of in the lower end of the spectrum as of late. Something we are not accustomed to seeing him in. I feel as though that will change here tonight. But they're all hunting down Rick Spencer-Wald in that old 77 tonight to try and finally take him down and end that little streak he's been doing when it comes to his runs and comes to his racing. Pacing them down off the turns 2. We are ready to go racing here this next laps down. They will have 2 laps to get settled in and taken care of as they bring him down here. Rick Spencer-Wald, Carter Casey. How many times have we said that over the course of the season? 2 guys going at it. Major players in the racing, major players in the running zone. Both love to put up a fight and put on a show when they can. They are looking to do much of the same here. Who will be able to hold off the other and be able to run the whole length in the full field this 85-lap main event here? We're going to find out as the race fans come to life, come to the field. The parade lap has begun as they come out of turn 2. this time by, ladies and gentlemen. We're going racing here. The intensity starting to stagger. The drivers getting ready and prepared for this one. They're going to bring that pace car off. You see on the screen, there's our flagman. He's waiting for it. He's looking for that flag to wave. He's waiting for the drivers to get to the right spot and wave him. He does. We're underway. Off the line through the start here. A little bit of problems already. Brandon Coleman already up into the wall protection there. Completely spun around. And that is not the start he wanted at all with this one here. He is already way back in the field. He's going to have to work a mile and a half just to try to catch up to these guys. Rex Spencer Wall takes the early lead, getting the early advantage off the start here. Once again, no surprise here. Kyle Jackson, the fellow Canadian, right behind in third here with Carter Casey in front of them all. Brian Doty in his 17 machine right now, looking for a little maneuver around the number 6 Kyle Jackson here as the old Camaro right in front of him defends off the bottom. One line that we'll see a lot of these drivers hitting tonight. You'll see him hit that bottom. You'll see him hit that middle line every now and then, trying to make a pass. But the bottom is where you're going to get most of your runs and most of your positions off of. It's very difficult, very tacky to try to get it in that right spot in the right corner panel because they are very hard really maneuver around and try to make their maneuvers when you need to. It hurts later on when you're not really getting an idea of how well that car is handling out there. To the onboard camera we go here, Carter Casey with our little dashboard cam now being put to use. The dashboard cam right now reading about 160 kilometers per hour out of that turn. Then look at him just hammer that thing down. When you see it go into the blue, that means it's redlining to its full effect. That means it's getting ready to go completely off that. Trying to uphill it a little bit more power under the hood, trying to get something going here. Carter Casey right now doing a great job though. Sticking with Rex Spencer Wall. He's actually got some ground on him here out of those corners here. You can see right here on the lap times, they are catching him quicker every time. Lap 1 through 4 was definitely a little bit of a game changer. Spencer knows he's right there with him. Any little bobble in an issue like that there is going to cost him. He's got to be careful about that. Brian Doty right now in the 17 hasn't had a very good season in his opinion either. He's been falling behind. He's lost control a lot of times. And, you know, for a driver like him, honestly, I've seen him battle out there before. He knows how to run with them, and he can run quick. But he has definitely struggled. Kyle Jackson, one of those guys you really just got to keep your eye on no matter where you go. He's always willing to put up a fight, and he can definitely be a contentious player whenever he runs. And he's known for it, man. He's really known how to hit it here. Kevin Wesenberg, problems, let me hear it. Not right now yet. You kind of missed out that start because earlier Brandon Coleman had some problems going in there out of turn 1 on that front stretch. Casey starting to slow down just a little bit. I think it might be time to actually go ahead and bring up that little problems we had earlier. Let's go and find out what happened to Coleman here on the start. This was the very start of the race here, folks. See, right out of the gate, Brandon Coleman, he didn't even get off the line. Justin Lawson, him getting tagged in there, and both drivers just could not get the car in gear and in position just right. And unfortunately, when you spin those tires like that, hurts you a lot more than you realize, and that wasn't the case there. Back to the live feed right now. We are back on the show here. The East Coast Racing Circuit currently trying to pull off some runs and some battles here. Once again, Carter Casey still trying to find his way around Rex Spencer Wall. I think he's just trying to wait for the old fuel run to come into play here. Maybe play that one in. He seems to know how to do that quite well here. Pulling back around out of turn 4 here, and it is still a battle of warfare here as Rick Spencer Welch still holding on in that 77 as the two of Carter Casey in the Budweiser machine. Looking for any opportunity, any position, any chance, if you will. Paul Durkee now going to intervene a little bit though. Brian Doty right in his sights. Durkee's performances in the truck series have been top-notch when it came to the early starts of us ever showing the East Coast Racing Circuit, but as of late in the Super Late models, it seems as though he's lost his footing, a little bit of that ground clearance that he had when he was running around here. But, you know, I've always said there's always good days and bad days in racing, but, I mean, to be honest with you, I think on the show at least, Paul Durkee's had way too many bad days for his caliber of talent. And it's just a matter of time before that changes around here. Carter right now still looking for any kind of opening, any kind of maneuver he can get around the old Rick Spencer wall. Rick's right now doing a tremendous job staying ahead of the trouble, staying ahead of the field here, doing what he has to try to stick with it. Hear all that power, hear all that momentum coming around those corners, and everything comes with it. Quite as impressive as how to hear these things and what they are capable of here. Behind all of them though right now, Brian Doty in the 17 opens the door up there to the 5 of Paul Durkee. Paul looking for an opening here. Is he going to bring it straight down at a turn 3. Side by side, they take it down to the bottom line. Durkee has the better run here. Can he hold it? He gets a little bit of a better spot. Let's go 17. Brian Doty really loose off a turn 4's exit. Could not get that thing to stay at the likes of the ground. And that opens the door to Paul Durkee to sneak his way in and take position over. What a run there. And just like that, that's the thing with Nashville, is you have to be careful about those exits are tricky. Again, you just see right there, unfortunately, Paul Durkee. Oh man, he loses it completely off the bottom end of it. But manages to recover nicely and save it, or did he? Oh man, that's some running right there, boys. Him and Doty right now going to war with one another, bumping and banging. They're out of turn 2. I'm amazed they even held line there. Most times you see anybody drive out there, they're usually up in the corner somewhere on Tim's spot. Paul Durkee right now doing what he has to try to stay ahead of Doty. Doty was making some serious moves and a half there and some looks at that win, that top 5 spot. That was a battle for 4 between him and Durkee here, but unfortunately right now currently it's kind of a different story here up on the leaderboard. Rick Spencer Wall was slowing down a little earlier. Well, that's definitely not the case now. He's got some ground there on Casey, and he's been making a pay for it ever since. The times are showing, and they're definitely making an impact here, I would say. If anything, it's time for Carter Casey to maybe stop trying to save up too much and think about trying to run a harder race here, because right now he is falling further and further behind. Now again, he may have some troubles down there with the corners and troubles with the car itself, and that might be hurting him a little bit. But you know, that's kind of the thing with racing, is you have to be careful about it. You have to determine whether or not you want to go full max, full throttle, all out assault, or if you want to try and save your tires up for a very, very long haul. These super late model cars, it's easier said than done sometimes. And speaking of being easier said than done, Doty actually got a little bit of a run on Durkee and a crossover there out of turn 2. Ends up making a big move there. Oh, here we go again, down out of turn 4. Crossover one more time. No, Durkee not able to get it. He's going to try to defend it one more time in turn 1. He sends Doty to the high side. That's no man's land up there. And Durkee, just like that, reels him back in and takes over 4th. But he's leaving a lot of ground clearance for Doty to make a move here. That's one thing that's so easy to do around here. It's just to give that one little spot up, that one little position, and the next thing you know, it's game over from there. These drivers giving it all they got right now, trying to hammer it down, trying to keep this one in the position zone for a run here or two. Battle for 4th here between the drivers here still as they come around. Once more, everyone's still in a hot pursuit here too. You see how far Doty is getting away, getting put back there from Durkee. Durkee doing a great job right now, hammering in. On the screen right now, you see the best lap times these drivers had. This is not the last lap times, but you can see Rick Spencer Wall just laying down a phenomenal lap, but it still could not compete with what Paul Durkee did there by about 0.03 of a second. Managing to come up with that lap and put a pretty good run or two off of that. I think really his main thing has just been trying to stay under pressure and under control. The gap between these drivers right now, well, for Paul Durkee and Brian Doty, it's literally at 8. It's 8-3 and 7-6 right now on Rick Spencer Wall. Rick right now got almost about a second on Carter Casey now. Carter is falling farther and farther back in. And Kyle Jackson now, I think, is starting to see a little bit of an opening here or two. He might have something for him. Let's head on board here, Kyle, and see how he's doing. But you can just feel the power and all that momentum that he carries through. He was definitely saving those tires up quite a ways here. And for good reason too, because the thing is, if you run this track too hard, it will burn those tires up really quickly. A lot of folks like to try to do that here, which is not the smartest maneuver. You want to try to stay a little more in control, a little more consistent with yourself and how you play things out. But obviously with some of these races, folks don't see it that way. They want to just go full on throttle, solid attack in the tracks. And I'll say this right now from a driver's perspective, if I've learned anything from last night in the showdown and the grudge match here with Eli the Wildcat, is that you have to be careful about how hard you run those tires in and when you do. If you got them on cold tires, sometimes that can be an advantage and sometimes it can be a huge disadvantage. Which, by the way, for those at home that do not know what the heck I'm talking about, last night, me and Eli the Wildshot from the Fast and Fun Champion Fire Equipment and Green Mountain Girls in the IROC series had gone at it a little bit. We had this old rivalry just growing up. He was making fun of me on my dirt, and I was making fun of him on his asphalt. So we just decided to take the gloves off, and have a little fun. And the end results was last night I ended up actually getting 3 out of the 4. We had a bonus one, Chili Bowl for the 410 Super Sprint cars, and he let's just say he had troubles there, and I managed to take it away from him there. But no surprise that Super Late Miles, though, he was able to take me down really easily. I had little experience with that track at Richmond. I had little experience with those cars, and he was the much better driver that night. I will give him that any day of the week. The one that kind of shocked me, though, was really when we were going to, was literally when we were right there at the sprint cars, the asphalt sprint cars, that is Justin Lawson just smacked the wall completely out of turn 2 there. Major damage on that right side. That corner fender has got some big problems here. You can see right there, you can see even the wheel. You can actually take a look there. You can see that wheel actually moving inside where the fender is. He's got major damage on that right side, and I don't know how that fender is not cutting into that tire a little bit. But it definitely has hurt the car a lot, and I think Lawson is going to fall back even more in this case. He's having troubles. Carter Casey right now is having trouble. He's got a little bit of a problem here because Kyle Jackson is now moving in closer. Starting to make the run on him. Brandon Coleman falling a lap down now to Rick Spencer Walkamp. The struggles continuing for Coleman on the show, and definitely a hard break to say the least. Or obviously not what he wanted to do on that start, but it's kind of the way things play out here. So going back to what I was saying earlier, though, what was amazing to me was those asphalt sprint cars, man. You got to be very, very, very careful about those things. If you run them on cold tires and you try to full throttle assault them, those things are just an absolute nightmare to try to hold on line. Like, if you even think about try arm away, the rear end lifts so badly that the front end actually has no grip to the ground. So it lifts up and then you have no way to steer. So basically you're just at the mercy of trying to drive a car that can do a wheelie, if you will. But when they do break down and they finally start to slow up a little bit, then you can start really hammering down a lot more, and that's when things get really interesting. Last night, to be honest with you, I just got really, really lucky and fortunate that, you know, Eli had so many more troubles than I did. I managed to block him quite a few times. So we'll probably have I'll probably show the race up on my personal YouTube sooner or later, but right now, currently, we got 2 major broadcasts in the works, and possibly one tomorrow, and of course, we got this one right now. So, don't really have time to show the results there, but if we do get it in, we'll leave a link in the description for you guys if you're curious. I'm showing it on my personal Facebook, so I'll let you guys know about that later. But Carter Casey right now, that Budweiser number 2. We're getting back to the action here. Halfway through this one here, and the Camaro is still having his way here with that 6 Kyle Jackson. Jackson's still trying to make a maneuver and make a pass for it. He can't seem to get it, or can he? Moving to the inside now. They are side by side, jockeying for position down that front straightaway. Drag race into turn 1. Cac Jackson makes the maneuver. Nice pass there, beautifully executed as Carter Casey. Well, let's just say he's going to have to try to find a way to make up for that mistake. That was definitely a bobble on his end going into that turn and into that exit and messed him up. Bladen Edwards saying, is this the whole field? Yes, we have only 7 drivers with us here tonight for this first main event. But if you guys are curious, they are, I believe they are recruiting drivers as you go along. So if you want to, you can hit them up here. I've already left a link in the description to their actual group page. Just message them up and they will again contact you guys. They're great. I tell you right now, man, they're a great bunch of drivers. Easy to work with, great friends to the show. And honestly, they're one of the very first guys, I believe, that actually gave us a true chance and really helped grow us as a community and help kind of grow as with us. I do know when we were first starting out, we actually had the E-NASCAR Outlaw Series really be the very first guys that ever, you know, brought this band or group together for racing in general. And you know, I'll be honest with you, even though we've kind of spread apart, we haven't seen each other since then. I will say I do not have nothing but respect for E-NASCAR Outlaws, allowing us to, you know, be able to come out and showcase their race and be able to be the first ones to actually get a chance at getting this show and ground on the run. And ever since, it's just been a wild season, a wild years of making. It's been good stuff though. Yeah, we certainly can't thank you guys enough for tuning in to even watch any of these in the first place. So right now, currently, Brian Doty goes into pit road here. He's going to opt in, try to get a fresh set of good years and a little splash gas or two. Rick Spencer Wall still out on the track here, about 2.5 seconds ahead of the whole field, and once again, he is just absolutely dominating this one. He has not left the spectrum of racing hard tonight. Carter Casey has to go into pit road, which means Paul Durkee will move up one position here. To the dashboard key, and we go with the onboard of Paul Durkee. You can see though, I mean, you can even right there, Paul Durkee, he's not getting the same kind of runs though that you saw earlier with Kyle Jackson and Carter Casey as well as Rick Spencer Walt. Now granted, they have burned the tires in just a little bit, but you do have still a pretty good run to get the momentum up and get that motor revving up as high as you can to try to get something going with it. The old 77 right now, man, that Chevrolet has just been on a tear, on a mission. The Stay Strong 77 has just been a flat-out beast here tonight. Has yet to give an inch, yet to give anybody a chance really at trying to make a move or trying to make a run off them. It's been pure, unalterated consistency and momentum throughout this event for him. Paul Durkee right now in the number 5, trying to hang in with them though. He's trying to stay in that top 3 zone. I think he's just kind of saving up the tires a little bit. Kyle Jackson, well, judging by the farther distance he's away right now, I think he's just waiting for Rick Spencer Wall to make a mistake here, if you will. Carter Casey and Justin Lawson right now, a little bit of a head scratcher too. You got Justin Lawson right now, a lap down. Carter Casey trying to get that back from him. And Spencer and Jackson are going in pit road, so it looks like strategy is going to come into play for Jackson here. The two Canadians right now, the only ones, have got the race lead and have been battling all day long. But Lawson and Carter Casey have been at this game for a while. They know what it takes to finish it out, but unfortunately for Lawson, though, I don't think he's going to have time. Carter has a much better chance if he can get things figured in a little bit better. Paul Durkee now has taken the race lead away. But I was wondering when he's going to go into pit road. He decides not to here yet. He is staying out. So that, for the first time tonight, is going to bring out our title card, because you know what time it is, folks. It is time for the new leader to be presented. Paul Durkee has the race lead. And our chat, Bladen Edwards saying Rick has the CGE power. Yeah, that is some power. All right, man. It's been looking strong all day long, and he's definitely made a believer out of me in this case. The rest of the field back out. Rick Spencer Wall has got about a 2 seconds and a tenth off of Kyle Jackson. I'm not sure. Carter Casey, I should say, I'm not sure what the strategy was there for either driver, but Carter Casey going into pit road a little sooner, I've got to believe it's some more of a strategy base. The only problem is Jackson makes him pay for that because he's got a fresher set of tires, and there is a little damage there on the 2. Carter is faltering and slowing up tremendously here. Rick is in trouble if Jackson catch up to him, but Jackson's still got about a 2.5 second gap. He's got to try to pull back from. Back to the dashboard we go. You look at that right there. You saw earlier with Dirk, he was only hitting about 203. Look at that, 210 kilometers per hour. That's somewhere in the ballpark of about 170 to 175 miles per hour in our American terms, if you will, the metric system. Trust us, folks. I've been trying to figure out a way to get that kilometers per hour changed up a little bit. Lawson already back in pit road. Same with Brandon Coleman. Both drivers, unfortunately, just completely out of their game and out of touch right now. They are having so much trouble. Brian Doty currently in the eyesight of old Rick Spencer Wall here. You see right here as we go to the onboard camera here for Brian Doty, you can see how far old Spencer is from him. It's not very far, and he's catching him quickly here. As I mentioned before, on the top of the hour and on top of the show, we have a very special main event here. It is going to be $150 on the line. The ultimates of main events. The Dirt Street Stocks are going to Bristol Dirt for the very, very first time on our show. And believe me when I say it, folks, I cannot wait to show you all about it. But speaking of showing all about it right now, Rick Spencer Welch getting his lap back finally from Durkee. Durkee right now, I already can tell you what he's trying to do. He's trying to do a full fuel run. He is trying to save the fuel all the way to the end. He knows he's getting to the end and it's coming close. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to strategize and make sure that he stays ahead just enough of Rick Spencer Wall to take that one away from him here and try to hold out to the end. My question is it smart enough to do that kind of a link, that kind of a run all the way to the end? Now, I'm not trying to discredit what Paul's trying to do here, but Rick has just been on a whole new rail all day long, and one caution or one little bobble can unfortunately ruin the night for Durkee. So Durkee has to be careful about who he lets by and how he lets everyone go. As you saw him give Kyle Jackson the opening there, he knows he's already a lap down. He doesn't need to be slowing him down anymore. What's on the front of that car, by the way? I didn't get a chance to take a look at that. Producers, would you give me a look at that? Oh, does it say teddy bear? Well, show the fans at home what the heck's on that thing. No, wrong side. There you go. Yeah, it does say teddy bear on the front. That's golden lab on that front of the stick. Looks like my dog Hattie Bug. That's pretty funny. Rose, if you're hearing this, give a little shout out to your dog for you. All right, now currently the only top dog here is Paul Durkee, who has been hanging on to that race lead here for quite some time with only about 15 laps remaining. Will he be able to come to a full standstill and hold the end out? Kyle Jackson and Spencer Walt are catching him, but it's slowly by the minute. Spencer still has about a 15-minute gap he's got to close. And I'm very curious to see right now what the lap times are showing here from Durkee. How hard is he slowing down? Oh yeah, right there, you can see it. He is slowing down tremendously here. Second by second by second. There was a second on the lap 68, about over a half a second though on everything else. What's the time for Spencer? Will it be kind of the same here? Waiting for the results to come in right now. There it is, about another eighth of a second here from Spencer. Times are getting hard here for old Durkee. Durkee's got to be careful, and let's Carter Casey now around him. He's really going to try to play that fuel strategy out in that tire game all the way through, ain't he? He's literally going to do it. 12 laps remain. Did he do enough, though? If he can catch a little bit of that draft on Carter, I think he might have a chance to actually kind of help keep the fuel from burning up too quickly. That aerodynamics draft actually does help out a little bit, if you can believe that. Boy, you can just see how hard he has to turn that thing, though, and how gently he has to get off those exits. And again, that's because those tires are gone. He has no tire really at all to be doing any kind of pushing or any kind of runs. He's got to be careful. And Rick Spencer Wall is starting to get about a 10-second gap in between now. And there's 10 laps remaining. It's close, but if Durkee slows down anymore, Spencer's going to catch him. It's getting crazy around here. Oh, but Durkee ran out of time, ran out of fuel. That's it for him. Rick Spencer Walt is going to become our second new leader of the night. He owns Nashville right now, and for Kyle Jackson, about 3/10 back, he has just lost it, man. He has no grip, nothing for him. And the times are definitely going to show it here. Look at this. Jackson right there on lap 96 did catch him a little bit. But all the other times, well, he's pretty much in no man's land. He had nothing for him. We're coming to the wire, coming to the end here. Final 8 laps remaining, and we will talk with our drivers at the very end of this one. But my goodness, what a battle and what a race throughout. Kyle Jackson right now trying just to get a little bit more ahead. Stay in the run, stay consistent. Don't let up now, kid. We'll talk with the top 5 at the end of the night here. Our hard charger, obviously being Kyle Jackson. He will be our, if he can finish out where he's at, he'll finish second. Brian Doty takes it to that outside line, takes it up to the high side here as you get a good look at the track position and field around Nashville. I'll tell you one thing though, folks, I hope that they do bring back NASCAR Cup Heroes here when the time comes. They've already bringing it to the iRacing they're already bringing it to the Super Speedway at Nashville. Well, my opinion, it's time to get the Nashville Fairgrounds in as well. 5 laps to go. The flagman holding up the high 5 now up on the screen. Rick Spencer Wall has just been an absolute beast in the CG Hour 77 all night long. Brian Doty put up a fight early. Justin Lawson fell behind quickly, and Brandon Coleman had probably the worst start of all of them, unfortunately. Carter Casey was right there to the end. Paul Durkee, give credit to the guy. He was trying something completely different to everyone else's strategy. It just did not pay off, and that's kind of the unfortunate incident there. Top 3 right now on your screen here. Carter Casey, Kyle Jackson, and Rick Spencer Wald right now. All jockeying for position. Carter with damage on that front end there. It definitely hurt him quite a bit. Pace it down the back straight away. The CG Hour stay strong. 77 just needs to perform 2 more good laps. The green flag flies high in the air. We've got 2 to go. You can just see the raw power and all that momentum that he's carries through in those corners. Absolutely left nothing on the table here for this one. White flag comes out now. We've got 1 to go. He brings it down the backstretch. 1 more good turn out of turn 3. Out of turn 4, it is all Rick Spencer Walt. The 77 takes it to victory lane. Another dominating performance, another strong showing from the man that, frankly, I feel like has no has no blood in his veins. I think he's running on cold water whenever he runs out there. He's got to have something in him that just is able to perform and perfect the way he's been doing. The CG Power 77 puts a good use to stay strong. Pete, it actually says on that screen there, put to good use, and I gotta believe this is a big win for Rick Spencer Wall. He was looking to keep this one all the way to the end. The final results are now coming in here on your screen. Here we go. Here's how we played it out to the end. Rick Spencer Wall wins it. A dominating performance. Kyle Jackson with a 2nd place finish. 3rd is going to go to Carter Casey. 4th will go to Paul Durkee. 5th to Brian Doty. 6th to Brandon Coleman. And 7th to Justin Lawson to round out the field for your race here at East Coast Racing Circuit. Celebration time with our drivers right now as we are getting ready to hit them up down here and talk with our finishers here. let's first take it down here with Brian Doty real quick and have a word with him. And it's going to be interesting to see how things go for him. Brian Doty, first off, congratulations on a top 5 finish here tonight, man. A lot of hard runs and racing throughout the night. Definitely kind of came close to battling up there with the guys here. What was going through your mind there, though, earlier when you were battling with Old Durkee?
Well, me and Paul, we run good together, but I thought maybe I had something at the first of the race, and I was just going to try to ease back and save some tires. But they started running off from me, and once I started trying to run with them, you just started eating the tires up. But other
Yeah,
than that, I thought we might have had something. But
I was about to say, it seemed like the car was trying to work its way through. It just unfortunately kind of got burnt up on the end of the spectrum. But, hey, man, nothing to sneeze about on a 5th place finish. That was still a lot of hard work you had to put into it.
yeah, I tried. We come in, and I got some penalties, and I went back out, broke a pit road penalty, but had to come back in, and that really hurt me. So, but we'll try it again next time and see what happens.
For sure that. Thanks again, Brian Doty, though, for taking the time to talk with us here. We'll catch you next time out on the show, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your 5th place finisher here tonight, Mr. Brian Doty in the number 17, as we now bring in our 4th place finisher here tonight. And I'm very interested to hear about the strategy that this guy had here. That'd be old Paul Durkee here, and I am ready to bring him in. Here he is now, Paul Durkee in the show. First off, Paul, man, I know I was saying it on the show, and it looked like you were going big or going for broke. But what happened there, man? It looked like the fuel might have run out, or did the tires go out on you?
It was fuel.
It
It was fuel.
I
Yeah,
thought it was.
I didn't have the pace to stay with these guys, so that was my one shot, and I forgot to unclick my tires, so I didn't get out very quick.
Well, I was about to say, it seemed like you were having some troubles getting out of pit road once everything was all said and done. I mean, no, it was not it wasn't the way you were hoping it would play out, but I mean, hey, man, that was still a long, hard haul you had to go through, and if they couldn't have done anything differently, what would it might have been?
Practice during the week.
Well, that's hard to do sometimes in our day and age, so what do we know?
Yeah. But all in all, it was a great season. Really appreciate you doing the broadcasting, and it was just a ball. I had a lot of fun. Congratulations to Walt and Carter, first and second. They deserve it. They were the 2 best guys all year. But yeah, lots of fun, and hopefully we will see you again next year.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Paul, it's great to have you on board, and hopefully, like you said, we definitely can see you again next year, man. It was a lot of fun to call all of this.
All right. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Durkee in the 43, your 4th place finisher here tonight. Now we take it to the top 3. Let's bring it down. Carter Casey is waiting in the wings here on pit road. We bring in the Mac Attack, Carter, Matt Casey now, number 2 here, and Carter. Man, that was a long, hard haul you had to go through on that first half, and then it just kind of died off. What happened there?
Yeah, it sort of killed the tires a little bit at the end of that first run, and was hoping to come down early, make a little bit of leeway by doing some strategy. But that second run, the car tightened up a little bit, and I unfortunately got an adjust in there. He got off of forward a little loose, and I thought he was going low, and I tried to shoot the gap there on the high side, and I got his right rear. So unfortunately, I wrecked him. Felt terrible about that, but then I killed the front end of my car too after that. So after that, I was just kind of riding.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the car was fading off quite a bit, and we did say on the show that the damage looked like it was getting pretty bad on your end for the front end, and unfortunately just couldn't keep up with it. But I mean, still though, you gotta believe there was nothing to lose here or anything to really feel bad about. You guys always put on a show and put up a fight, and just came up a little bit short here, man. But still, what a finish in 3rd. I gotta ask you, who do you want to thank you for that?
Just got to thank these guys for hosting the league. Thank Brandon for inviting us in. It's been a fun battle week in and week out. It's good to really turn laps and get clean racing in. So that's been my favorite part. And just got to thank PTM for hosting the show.
Absolutely. It's been an honor to do these and call the action here, man. And nevertheless, congratulations on this. And Carter, we'll see you next time or whenever we can see you guys again.
All right, sounds good, man. Take it easy.
You too, ladies and gentlemen. Your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the Mac Attack, Carter Casey. As we now bring in Mr. Kyle Jackson waiting in the wings here on pit road right now before we head to Victory Road, or Victory Lane, I should say. But Kyle Jackson almost put it into Victory Lane when he had a chance or two there. And Kyle, you definitely were putting up a fight there to your fellow Canadian.
Yeah, tonight I finally could put a full race together, which was nice, but I never had anything for Walt. He's just on a league of his own.
Did it seem like he just was all the way through the end, he just couldn't find a way to beat him this, or was it just basically he just was driving it so hard you just didn't know what to do?
No, I was driving it way too hard using up my stuff. He was just coasting.
It seemed like it though, but he still had to go into pit road. So I mean, he obviously had it. He wasn't coasting it enough like Paul Durkee was for the run. But man, that was still, you guys managed to put up a fight and put it up to him there a few times.
Yeah, thanks. It was nice to actually put a full race together because I've had some bad luck this season.
For sure there. But at the end of the day though, Kyle, man, it's great to see you back here finally in that top 3 spots and all that. So I'm gonna ask you, bud, coming home with the second place finish, who do you want to thank for this one?
Well, I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, Brandon for hosting the league. These guys have been fun to run with, and everybody else. And yeah, that's about it.
For sure there, Kyle. Great to have you on the show. Great to see you back here, and thank you for taking time. Congratulations on the season, bud.
All right, thanks, Christian.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Jackson in the number 6, your second place finisher here tonight, as we now take it down to Victory Lane, where Rick Spencer Walt waits for us here. Rick, once again, a trip to Victory Lane, another victory. How about that, my man?
Yeah, it was definitely a good night for us. Had the Stay Strong Pete 77 in honor of him tonight. It's he's fighting the battle and going through a bunch of stuff, so it's good to run the car and get a win with it for sure.
I gotta believe as strong as you were running, that was probably about as strong as he was fighting as well there, day in and day out. That's definitely something to be had here for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's they ran the Stay Strong Pete 500 at Talladega today and raised a bunch of money for him. I race myself in real life, so I've got a door up for auction right now. Basically, the highest bidder is going to get that. So we're just trying to raise some money for him and help him out in these times while he's going through his chemo and everything.
Very awesome to hear, man. Great to hear that the community is coming together to help out those in need and those in distress, and all that comes around here in racing. That just goes to show you the tight-knit family that everybody is. We may hate each other on the track sometimes, but we always are there for each other when we're off the track, and it definitely seems to be the case here with you guys and what you're doing for the family. So, Rick, I gotta ask you, man, you're taking it to Victory Lane here tonight in Nashville. Who do you want to thank you for that?
Yeah, definitely the CGE guys. Butt Kicker's part of the program over there too. It's a good team they've got put together, building some setup stuff for Road to Pro, and it's been fun to be a part of that deal. So gotta thank them for helping me out. Alan's paint shop, he painted this car and it looks bad to the bone. I love this thing, so just that, and Stay Strong Pete for sure, and I thank my baby Jesus for my smoking hot wife like always.
All right, well, Rick, I think the Smoking Hot Wife will be happy with this performance and be happy with everything else throughout this one. So, Rick, nevertheless, congratulations, man. Great to see you finally back on the show, and great to see you guys put up quite a fight there.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, Rick Spencer Walt in the number 30, in the number 77 machine, as we conclude the race here tonight. Now we are finally set for the main event, the Dirt Street Stocks at Bristol Dirt. Over 25 drivers are signed up. $150 is on the line. Let me tell you something, folks. You don't want to miss it. Bristol Dirt is coming your way here in just a short time. But for now, we are going to say goodbye. When you catch in here, though, in about an hour and a half, you'll be seeing all the action of the Dirt Series on our show. For now, though, we love you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for making this channel what it is. And honestly, thank you for everything you guys give to me and all the crew back here, the guys that work with this and gals, obviously, and my best friend, obviously, that helps out, do everything. I can't thank you guys and them enough. It's been a pleasure to be with you guys here. For now, though, we must say goodbye and be safe. God bless. Take care. Catch you in a little while if you're going to catch the dirt. And we'll see you next time when the green flag flies right here on PTN Racing TV.